The really serious things we've been taught are not things for us to worry about. We have professional politicians. We have all kinds of professional this and that. And surely they will take care of all the bigger problems so that we can spend our time consuming and being distracted.
Right.
Am I right or wrong?
Right, brother. Right. That's what they want us to do.
Well, it's time for us to stop being distracted in that way and start realizing that some very serious things are going on in our world today. One of the most serious things is global warming and climate change. All over the world, people are starving because of droughts. Civil wars are breaking loose in many countries around the world, and you and I don't realize that part of what people are fighting about is whether or not they'll have access to enough water, enough food to eat, enough of the basic things that make it possible to survive. But right now in the United States, in the city of Detroit, tens of thousands of people have been cut off from access to water. Why? Because they can no longer afford to pay the water bills. So they are being told, you have no right to water. The same thing has happened in the city of Baltimore and several other major cities throughout the United States. Are you aware of that? If you're not, you better start worrying about why you are so distracted by our movies, our video games, you know, our cable television with 400 channels to distract you 24 hours a day, while the temperatures continue to climb up and up, as has been mentioned by several speakers today. This year is the hottest year in history. Recorded climate history. That distinction actually belonged to last summer, but last summer is gone. And as someone else said before me, next summer is going to be even hotter. And then the summer after that. And for some of us, we're still arguing about whether global warming is real and whether we need to be worried about climate change. We're here today to say, yes, we need to be worried about climate change and global warming and the things behind it. And it involves each and every one of us, not just those of us who are standing around this truck in the middle of the street in Hollywood today. It involves you. It involves your kids, your neighborhood, your family, your community, and our society. And this is a global reality. In 2 months, there's going to be a global climate summit. Do you realize that? The leaders of the world are coming together to see what they can work out about controlling or slowing down or reversing climate change. You and I need to be players at that table because what they're talking about is your survival and mine. That is why we're having this rally out here today. We want you to pay attention to this. You are the key players. Last week there was a bill in the California State Senate called SB 350. Its aim was to reverse the trend toward climate change by limiting how much oil, how much coal and fossil fuel we burn here in the state of California, and how much we move toward things like solar energy, water-powered energy, and wind-powered energy over the next 30 years. But that bill was largely taken apart. And you know why it was taken apart? Because the oil corporations and the other big corporate interests who don't see climate control as being in their money-making interest cut that bill down to what they consider manageable size. And they did it because you and I were not jumping all over them in Sacramento last week, demanding immediate emergency action to reverse global warming and climate change. And brothers and sisters, this rally is here today to say that that is what must change first. You and I must change our mind about our own role in these issues. You and I must realize that our own survival is at stake over issues, basic issues such as access to drinkable water and the quality of our air. How much hotter does it have to get before you start paying attention? How much hotter must it get before you realize that climate change is upon us and that it poses a threat? Brothers and sisters, that's all I have to say today. Thank you.
All right, brothers and sisters, I'm going to introduce our last speaker.